Um, you can. What up, though? What up, though? What up, though, guys? It's your girl, Zsa Zsa, and you are tuning in, listening to Yeah, I Said It. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. And I know you heard me the first time. It is Thanksgiving. What up, though? What up, though? What up, though? What up, though? Yeah, I said it. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it, which I thought I wasn't when I was, because I am and I is. Yeah, I said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. It is Thankful Thursdays. We have the activities of our limbs. We ain't in nobody's hospital. We ain't in nobody's jail, because y'all already know they got plenty of room. It's 4,000, what they say, 7,000 and counting of individuals who have COVID-19 right now. We ain't in nobody's hospital. We ain't nobody's jail. And y'all, at first I was like, you know what? I ain't even gonna, I'm not going to go lie today. I'm going to let the folks breathe. But then I said, no. The Lord said, no, honey. You supposed to be doing what you're supposed to be doing. So listen, if you are, have your activities of your limbs and in your right mind, that's the first thing that you need to be thankful for, because health has been one of the most compromising things this year, as well as mental health. You know, being able to get through certain seasons of your life. And although Thanksgiving is about the camaraderie and the family, it is also about remembering those indigenous people who actually were slaughtered and killed by European settlers who decided to take some stuff from some people. And if you know anything about life, sometimes things are taken from you prematurely. Relationships end prematurely that you never thought would end. Family members leave that you never thought would leave. Your health can be a challenge. Certain things that were once easy to deal with are now a challenge. I talk to you guys each and every week about, you know, my father committing suicide the day after Thanksgiving. And every Thanksgiving, I think about the conversation that we had. And I think about the love that you share with the people that you care about, and how you hope that what you are giving is actually portraying what it is that you feel. And, you know, every Thanksgiving we sit around and we talk about what we're thankful for. But when do we ever talk about how thankful and grateful we are throughout the year to the people that we love and the people that we care about? And it shouldn't be a one day of the year that we decide that we want to feast and be nice to one another, because at the end of the day, indigenous people lost their lives. They lost their homes. They lost their culture because people were selfish and decided that, oh, I just want to settle up here and claim this particular area as mine. You know, growing up, I was raised in a household. My mom had 7 children, and every holiday, every Thanksgiving, we all had a task. We all had territories. My little sister, she was on sweet potatoes. She had to pull out the little strings out the sweet potatoes. My mom would make my brothers go clean up the house and clean up the yard. My sister and I, we would be helping out with the main dishes, and my other sister would be helping out with the desserts with her dad. And we all had our own territory, and we all had our own assignment. And see, one of the things that you got to learn when it comes to family is that everybody has their own assignment. Everybody has what they're good at. And when you learn what you're good at, you won't have to worry about looking at your sibling or a family member with envy, or a friend with envy, when you recognize the gift that these particular people have. See, when you learn to be thankful, you learn to be thankful for the things that did not happen, that could have happened. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm talking about it could have been worse. Because, see, this year we could be celebrating and mourning the first year of not having you here for Thanksgiving. Or we could be mourning the fact that, you know, a particular area in your body is no longer functioning the way that it was meant to be functioning. And see, sometimes we will take a lot of those things for granted because life continues to happen. You know, we lose loved ones, and we lose out on certain things and situations, and we're tough. We're resilient people because of the traumas that we've been through. And just like the Native Americans, they have been through those traumatic experiences as well. You know, I often sit and I think about how great America would finally be if America operated off of honesty and truth. If America said, yeah, we endangered and kidnapped the African American ethnicity to do free labor. If white America actually sat and said, you know what, yeah, we did rob the Native Americans of their land because we knew that they weren't going to be able to fight us back with sticks and stones. See, if a lot of us were honest about the situations and the positionings that we would be in, then we would probably be a lot more thankful because we would recognize that our situations could have been worse. See, this year it's been very tumultuous for me. I've had a lot of successes and I've had a lot of failures too. And like many of us, a lot of us don't want to magnify our failures because we want people to enjoy our successes. But sometimes life is about magnifying those failures as well so that you can learn. See, one of the things that I'm mostly grateful for is not all of the great things that happen. And I know that probably sounds weird, right? It sounds weird. Like, why wouldn't you be thankful for all the great things that happen? Because I know great things are always going to happen because God wants me to be abundantly blessed. But it's in those growing pains when we become thankful, when the things that we didn't feel like we deserved or that prayer that we just so happen to get answered. There are a lot of failures that I'm thankful for. Failed relationships. I'm thankful. Failed business partners. I'm thankful to not get caught up in the drama and the foolishness that they got caught up in. Thankful that COVID-19 didn't take me out. It may have took out both my grandmothers a month apart, but it didn't take me out. I was able to see my son graduate this year and go off to college. There are a lot of things that we fail at that we become ashamed of because we don't want nobody to see the bad things or the certain situations that we get into that make us feel uncomfortable. See, one of the things that I do know is that there is somebody who lost their entire family to COVID-19. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to I said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm talking all about it could be worse. I know some people who lost loved ones right before the holiday season, and now their holiday season will never be the same. See, when you start to learn to be thankful and grateful every day, when days like this come, all you're doing is being grateful for the exceedingly abundantly above all you could think of. Because see, every day, if you are being honest with yourself, you should be thankful. Every day that you have breath in your body, that God wakes you up, when you miss out on that accident that could have took you and your family out, when your children come back home safely and they weren't kidnapped, but you look on the news and you see that there was somebody's child that was kidnapped. When you think about your grown children that could have been in jail this holiday season, but instead they're sitting at home getting on your nerves. You know, your grandchildren could be sick. You know, there are a lot of things that could have gone wrong this year that did not. And the things that did go wrong that we thought was going to take us out did not. Listen, if you're tuning in, you're listening to I said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. Listen, if you want to jump in and tell me what you are thankful for most, or you just say, Zsa, I want to chop it up. I never really get a chance to chop it up with you when you're live. Come on in if you want to get live. I'm live on my Instagram, live on my Facebook page. Tell me what you are thankful for. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. You can follow me on Instagram, subscribe to my YouTube channel. You know Zsa Zsa because you do. Tell me what you are grateful for. Listen, you want to chop in? Listen, hop in on my live on my Instagram, hop in on my live on my Facebook. I want to hear from you. Tell me what you are grateful for. Because I'm going to tell you something. As a mother, when I had COVID-19 last year, I was so in preparation to die. And I know that probably seems so harsh, but when you cannot control what's happening to you, and it's happening and you can't control it. A cold, you can control. You know when you're getting ready to cough. You cough and phlegm comes up and you cough out the phlegm, or for some nasty people, they swallow it. But Then you have your nose. You know, you have a stuffy nose. You blow the nose. You know, you get your Vicks. You rub it on your chest. But then when I had COVID-19, I couldn't control what was happening in my body. And so that can be a very, very scary thing. It's almost like a woman who's pregnant. You can't control, you know, when the contractions come. You can't control when the baby's ready to come out. All you can do is push. And it was the same thing dealing with that illness. I couldn't control what was happening to my body. The only thing that I could do, though, was make sure that I was in a better spiritual place. And that's another thing that I'm grateful for. That when things happen to you, you are not overtaken by the things that happen to you. And, you know, it's really disappointing because this year, as well as last year, we got to see some very transformational things happen. Ahmaud Arbery's case was all the murderers were found guilty. But then we turn around and we have a young man like Rittenhouse who is acquitted of all charges. Where we have a young lady who kills her rapist and molester for years on end, and she gets the boot. This is the country and the world that we live in. And I often think about what if America was just honest about the things that it's done. We won't stop feeling the pain in our country until we do right by the people who reside in them. See, this is the thing. Our city won't get better until the people who lead the city end up doing right by the people who it's being led by. But if you're tuning in, you're listening to, I said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. Listen, y'all, I'm tired because I've been up all night, all morning. I made my lemon cake, potato salad, not sweet potato pie, lemon cake, peach cobbler, apple pie, and cheesecakes. And so now I got to finish up some other stuff that I got to do. But I'm super duper excited because in the world that we live in, people are leaving here by the dozens. And when you genuinely love yourself and genuinely love others, you operate in love because you don't know what other people are going through. And see, when you understand that your life is barely being pulled together by the hairs of your chinny chin chin, then you also understand that your neighbor to the left or to the right of you, when you go into the stores, when you go into the gas stations, there is somebody who's not sharing those same experiences. And so when you go out today and you enjoy your loved one and you enjoy your family, make sure that you're wearing a smile, that you're operating in love, because everybody is not cut from the same cloth. Everybody doesn't have a prayer life. Everybody doesn't have faith. Everybody is not having a thankful Thanksgiving. And when you understand that, then you also understand the type of love that we need to share in our communities. And there are some people who will poke the bear because they're hurt, because they're dealing with certain stuff. And they'll poke the bear because they're angry and because they're hurt and because they don't know where to place certain emotions. And when you don't know where to place certain emotions, you'll start shooting them off anywhere. You know, it's like a person who starts to drink and they get upset about something and then it turns into a whole nother thing because certain stuff wasn't addressed. And so if you are out here enjoying your family, make sure that you guys have a conversation that is shared with love, and be honest and be genuine about that communication and about sharing that love, because nobody wants to be at somebody's house feeling used, coming to get a plate only to leave. Y'all know how y'all do. Don't sit down, don't bring nothing, just come to take. And we got to stop taking from our families, but coming with something to give. There are women and men who have slaved over stoves and ovens, including myself, cutting up onions and celery and bell peppers and everything else. And those people want to be appreciated and thanked. And you want to share that love and that gratefulness, because life is not promised. And so you don't know who will be here for this Thanksgiving that won't be here for for next year's Thanksgiving. Or they'll be here for this Thanksgiving, but they won't be here for Christmas. This is why one of the reasons that we have to share our love for one another, and we have to share it genuinely, because at the end of the day, there are people that are going through and they're having challenges and they're having some disappointments. And so when you come across your own disappointments and you know how you deal with them and you know how you feel about them and you know about the resources that you have to utilize for the things that you're trying to do, make sure that you understand that everybody isn't cut from the same cloth. There are some things that I have dealt with that my siblings wouldn't even be able to handle. There are some things that you have had to deal with that somebody that knows you wouldn't be able to handle. And see, this has been a season of elevation. This has been a season of stripping and purging. People who you thought that you were going to start with, that you don't end up finishing with. People that you once loved and had genuine feelings for that you no longer, they are like a thought in the wind. There are some people that you never thought that you would fall in love with. And now you all are the best of and the closest of friends. There are some partners that you never thought that you would do business with. And now your businesses are striving and are extremely successful. There are some backbones that you all had to find, because moving like a coward will get you nowhere. And see, one of the things that I'm super duper grateful for is that God didn't make me out to be no chump, you know? What I saw this year was a lot of sucker moves. A lot of people with some suckers, man. You know, we'll shout out Black Lives Matter. We'll shout out I'm my brother's keeper and all this, blah, blah, blah. But when it comes down to actually producing what we say we want to produce, there are very slim and few whose words actually match their actions. And I'm just grateful that in a world full of wannabes, in a world full of fakers, in a world full of people who say they gonna do things, I'm thankful that God made me a producer, where you produce and you create and you fulfill the ideals and the goals in your heart. Because there are a lot of people who are going to talk about what it is that they want to do. And I'm thankful that there were some things that God let me move on. And then there were some things that God said, hold up, not yet. And although I was upset about the not yets, I'm thankful that he didn't allow me to move on certain things, because certain things and certain people would have sabotaged it. See, sometimes God got to move some circumstances around, and certain people can't be in the equation. See, I didn't realize that 16 years later, or 15 years later, rather, that me not having my father around would propel me to do certain things. I never thought in a million years that the day after Thanksgiving that my father would commit suicide, but it happened. And so when things like that happen, it catapults you into doing better with your life or doing worse, because some people can't handle certain griefs, certain losses, certain life changes. Because see, when you wake up every day to a person, or you go to work every day and you see your coworker and then they're no longer there. Okay, right? And it has nothing to do with someone passing away. They may went on and got another job, or they may have started a family. Those are life-changing things, because like me, when I go to work, you got your favorite coworkers or your colleagues that you work with, that you kick it with, and say one of them gets promoted or gets transferred to another department. Now you have to rearrange your whole little thought process, because usually every day you would come to work and you would have you a little crew. And see, it's the same thing in life. You had grandma there, and you used to, every Thanksgiving, grandma's gonna cook that whatever she cooks. That's your favorite, the cake, the sweet potato pie, whatever the case may be. And then now all of a sudden, now I have to make those adjustments and those changes, because now grandma ain't making the sweet potato pie. And now people feel some type of way. And see, this is one of the reasons why you have to deal with people in love, because you don't know why people feel why they feel. I remember, having to deal with the trauma of grieving my father, and then 3 days later having to tell my mom happy birthday and have celebratory events. Literally within a 3-day span. My father committed suicide the day after Thanksgiving, and then 3 days later is my mom's birthday. So it's like you go from being sad to happy, and all in between all of this, you're trying to manage. And all of us are trying to manage what we're feeling, what we're dealing with, how we're operating, what it is that we're seeing, and what it is that we're feeling. And see, one of the things that I love about God is that He'll show you what I saved you from. A lot of us don't realize that there are some circumstances that happened this year that God saved us from. Some business partners. The guy said, nah, you may think you're missing out, but nah. And see, I had to take a sabbatical, which I often do, because sometimes social media can make you feel like, you're not doing enough, you need to do more, or you're doing too much. And it causes you feelings that you don't need. And I grew up without social media. You know, I grew up where we picked up the phone, we wrote letters, we went and rode bikes, we met up with the people we needed to talk to. So I'm very a face-to-face type of person. And if I have to be on social media, I will, pertaining to my businesses and the fact that I host, I speak, and I use this platform for influence. But sometimes social media can make us more depressed. It could make us deal with anxieties that we didn't even have before we got to scrolling. And before we know it, we scrolling and now we sad, or now we thinking about somebody we wasn't even thinking about. And I have to, because I know me, right? And every day that God gives you breath in your body, you should be trying to get to know you, the bad parts of you, the good parts of you, the parts that are short fused, the parts that have patience and long suffering, the parts that are loving, the parts that are a little hateful. See, when I started learning those parts about me, can't nobody tell me about me. There's nothing that nobody can say about me, because you learn you. So when you hear stuff about you, you can say, oh, they just feeling some type of way, or, oh, that's pride and ego talking, or that sound like jealousy, or that sound like they got a personal problem, or that sound like they need to have a conversation with me, or they need prayer. Because sometimes you can't have certain conversations with certain people because of the spirits that are in them. And that's another thing that I'm thankful for. I'm thankful that the spirits that were on others didn't get on me. Let me say that again. I am thankful that the spirits that were on others did not get on me. You know, there are a lot of emotions that plague the Black community that will not allow us to build the way that we can. If we are the same people that built pyramids and White Houses, and we're the same people who created traffic lights and refrigerators and toilet seats and mats and ironing boards, and we're the same people who created trendy music and fashion. And one of the things that plagues us the most is our pride and our ego, and how to get over the trauma that has faced our communities. And why is it that we continuously put each other in more trauma than we need to? See, one of the things that I'm grateful for is the spirit that God allowed me to have despite how people treated me. There are some people who treated you like shit. Sugar, honey, iced tea. Yeah, I said it. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. If you're tuning in, I'm talking all about it could be worse. There were some people who mishandled me, mistreated me, and I'm no angel. There are some people I mistreated and mishandled as well, and karma is real, and what you put out there, you will also get back. That what you have sown, you will also reap. I'm not oblivious to that. But what I am mindful of is people who intentionally drop you and mishandle you and mislead you and manipulate situations for their benefit, knowing all along what they had intended to do. See, one of the things that I love about God is that God examines the mind and the heart and the intention behind how people move. See, in my mind, I want to deal with a lot of the vengeance and situations that I've been a part of. I want to deal with them myself. I want to take my hand and do things. I want to go and go get that medal and make sure that the peace is really still. But I also know that this holiday, I like being free. And I know that there are people who would love to manipulate a situation that will benefit them and make you look bad. That's why you got to be mindful of the spirit that you have. That even though when people don't treat you the way that you should be treated, that you are still operating in love. See, I'm thankful that I don't look like what I've been through. And I'm also thankful that I don't have the spirit of some of these evil people out here. Because people will smile in your face, stab you in your back, play with your kids, and be ready to hurt you. And see, this is one of the reasons why in every season of your life, you got to stay prayed up. It ain't no, oh, when things are going good and you got the love of your life and you got a little bit of money coming in and you got your bills paid and gas is in the car and you living your life like you're golden, because that's when the enemy will come. He'll come when you are settled and you think everything is okay and life is hunky-dory. And the minute that you let your guard down is the minute that the enemy will come and tear your whole world apart. And now you're sitting there talking about what happened. Because you always have to be mindful, being grateful, even for the little things. There were things and people that meant to do harm. But see, what the devil meant for evil, God will always work it out for your good. And this is one of the reasons why I'm so thankful, is because how people will try to set you up will only be a setup for God to set you up in a higher position. See, there were things that people did to me that they thought, oh, I'm going to get her. I'm going to show her. Oh, yeah, you showed me. All right. You showed me how to exit stage left and get into a better situation. You right. You showed me. You showed me your true colors. And now I don't even want to ever deal with you alone ever in life. And you know what else you showed me? You showed me what to look out for in the event that I ever see it on somebody else. Yeah, you showed me. You showed me how to protect and cover myself. You showed me what to look out for in the event that I ever see it again. See, people will try to show you or have a one hand up on you. And it's family too. You know, you get your cousins that, yeah, I saw your little billboard. I be cracking up. That's why I be looking at people like, did you? And then I say, well, did you watch the show? And they say, no, I didn't get a chance to watch it. I say, oh, okay. How many shows have you watched since you've seen it? Because, see, people like to play you for a fool. And this is one of the things that I'm thankful for. I'm thankful that God did give me common sense. Because common sense is not common. Everybody does not walk in the day-to-day operations thinking, let me do right for myself. Let me do right for my community. Let me do right for my family. There are actually some people who walk and operate in chaos and operate in drama and trauma, and they love it. They breed it. There are people right now at work that don't have nothing else to do. They don't have no family. They don't have no loved one. So you gonna have a manager or a boss that's intentionally gonna get on your nerves. You know why? Because they don't got nothing going on for themselves. They don't got nobody loving on them or friends with them or happy to see them. And so because they don't have that type of love, they gonna get on your nerves for the holiday. They gonna upset you. You know why? Because that's what the enemy has set out to do. Kill, steal, and destroy. So when an enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy, he's gonna have your children upset you. He gonna have your loved one or your spouse upset you. You're gonna be upset about cake. And it don't even matter. It don't matter that they didn't bring the cake. It don't matter that they didn't bring the pop or the rolls. Guess what? Whoever came and whoever showed up today for you, guess what? That's who showed up. See, sometimes we have to learn to not be upset about stuff that don't even matter. You know, I used to be upset about, oh, why did this person have to say this? Or why did this person have to do this? Or didn't this person know that I was dealing with this? And you think about all of those things, how people are so inconsiderate. But I've come to learn that the people that are inconsiderate or the people who have some of the most to say about certain situations are the ones that are crying by the bed at night. See, there are a lot of people who try to act like they're the tough cookies, like nothing affects them and they're not sad. And, we going to get by and we're going to get through this. Those are the most crybabies. The people with the hardest heart and the hardest shell is often the weakest link. They often the ones that's sitting on the side crying their little heart out when nobody's around. Because at the end of the day, they're dealing with emotions that they don't want people to see. And see, one thing's for sure, two things for certain. A holiday will definitely bring out some emotions that you didn't anticipate having. The other day, I was sitting there and I was cutting up the potatoes and I had to hold back a tear because I remember my mama having me cut up the potatoes and boil the eggs in the potatoes to make the potato salad. And all I could think about is it's another Thanksgiving without my mama. But then I had to think about while I was sitting there cutting up those potatoes. And I had to become thankful. You know why? Because I have a skill that my mother left me with. There are some people that don't know how to make no potato salad. And their mamas didn't teach them how to cook no Thanksgiving meal and no Thanksgiving dinner. And though despite my mother may not be here, and though despite my father may not be here, there were some things that they taught me that I can't get rid of. There are some things that your loved ones taught you that you can't go to the store and buy. My mother's smile. My mother's had a smile that'll brighten up the room. And although I brush my teeth 3, 4, 5 times a day, that smile that Kelly gave me is inherited. See, there are some things that you have been inherited that God gave you through your loved ones. And it's not up to you to be sad and depressed and to have an attitude and to share a nasty disposition. It's up to you to share that love that your loved ones showed you and taught you. See, I could sit here and be bitter and be mad that, my dad passed away or both my grandparents died last year due to COVID. I could sit here and get drunk and smoke all the weed and be high till I can't be high no more. But then what? That's not going to stop them from not being here. That's not going to take away the fact that I don't have the power to bring them back. And so while you're celebrating yourself and celebrating your family and celebrating your loved ones, celebrate everything that you've learned about yourself so far. The good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent. I'm celebrating all the successes and failures. Because, see, successes teach you that what you were on is a good path. And failures teach you, okay, that didn't work out, but that doesn't mean that it won't work. Now you just have to understand a new strategy that's going to help you catapult you to the next level. See, a lot of us, we get stuck on the failure and we don't know how to move out of that failure like quicksand because we wanted what we wanted when we wanted it. Right now, there is a young man that was working with me with the Detroit Choice Awards. And I keep trying to tell him, I'm trying to get my footage just like you are. Okay. And he sent me this nasty text message. And I'm just thinking to myself, okay, black man, you gonna talk to a black woman that you need something from like this because you want what you want now. And see, this is where we have to be delicate with one another in this season. He didn't know that I'm grieving right now and I'm trying to get my mindset right, that I'm trying to get stuff together for me, but you're bothering me about disposable footage that I'm trying to get. And see, that's like the enemy. He'll have stuff try to get on your nerves and like a little fly buzz around you and be a gnat about it. Even if you're struggling to get over an ex or struggling to get over a situation that's happened to you or struggling to get over a financial hump. See, the enemy wants more than to frustrate you and distract you from your purpose and your passion. If I can get you to be angry all day, then guess what? You don't get nothing done. If I can get you to be sad all day, guess what? You don't see any happiness in a situation. If I can get you to get off your square or get you here or get you there, guess what? You're no longer thankful. And see, let me tell you something about the enemy. The enemy wants more than to break up families. You don't think so? Why do you think that there's an attack on our elderly? This is a legal genocide. The enemy is trying to attack our families. And if we're not careful, we'll let pride and ego tear our families apart. And when the enemy really comes to tear you up, you won't have a solid, strong foundation. See, I know that I'm the Joseph of my family. I'm the person, the woman of many colors, because I've had ideas and visions unlike my siblings, and I've actually allowed those things to come to pass. And when you are the Joseph of your family, it may be more than one Joseph of your family, the chosen person with the ideas, with the vision, doesn't mean that you're better than anybody. It just means that God talks to you. You hear from God. And I've been hearing from God since I was a kid. And because I've been hearing from God since I was a kid, there are some things that I'm a lot more sensitive to than people around me. And so because I am the Joseph of my family, if you know anything about their story, they had 7 years of abundance and 7 years of famine. And although Joseph was the sibling that was the chosen one, his siblings didn't like it. They were going to kill him. And instead of killing him, they sold him off to slaves. And from there, Joseph went to jail. Joseph was accused of rape. Joseph was he was prophesying and was a dream reader and interpreter. And from there, he was able to interpret a dream. And he ended up getting one of the highest positions in the government. And because he got one of the highest positions in the government, he was able to save his family from the 7 years of famine. And see, what you all don't realize, and this is one of the things that I'm so thankful for, is that when you stay committed and you stay dedicated, despite the things that have happened to you, despite the setbacks, despite the people who have lost and left, despite the lack of, and you continue to be resilient and have the tenacity to keep going, God's going to bless that. He has no choice but to bless that. Listen, if you're tuning in, you're listening to, I said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. Listen, I got to get to this kitchen, okay? About to pin this hair up. Okay, turn this music on and get this party started. Because it's Thanksgiving. You need somewhere to eat, pull up. You don't know where to pull up? Too bad. But anyway, slide in my DMs. I love y'all. Continue to wash your hands. Continue to wear your mask. And continue to be safe with one another, because safety, we want to see each other next year, 2022. I want to see you in 2022. Don't you want to see you in 2022? So listen, I love y'all. I'm super excited. My son is home for the holidays. So you're going to be seeing plenty of our pictures in my stories. Check them out. And I hope that you are enjoying your family and your loved ones. And please be safe. And if it's not going to matter in 5 years, it shouldn't matter in 5 minutes. I love y'all. Have a wonderful holiday and enjoy the rest of your Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. I love y'all.